What up, what up, what up? What's really good, everybody? It's your boy, Aaron Bevins. I'm here once again with the one and only Tadi. Tedderman in the building. What's up, Tadi? How you doing?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. No.
Tadi, you just take over and take the mic. Yo, I'm
Thank
really
you for
excited.
having me, Aaron.
Oh, you already know. You already know. Those of you who've been following my content for years, actually, Tadi, I didn't tell you this. I would say probably one of my top 5 streamed episodes of all time was one of the ones we did in the past. And
Oh.
and across multiple platforms, actually. In fact, I just released it on Twitch, and it hit on Twitch as well. But I didn't tell you that. But Tadi is somebody who the first time I met Tadi, real quick before we go into an intro, because this is dope to me. First time I met Tadi was at an event that I did with Quentin Flores in San Antonio, like, I don't know, back in COVID. This was COVID times. And
It was
the
illegal.
first thing I remember Tadi telling me after the event was, she was like, yo, you're like Black Tony Robbins. And I'm like, that is the best compliment I've ever received in my life. And I remember just talking to you, Tadi, and like just feeling your energy. I think you were there with somebody, and I was like, yo, I really feel like you're gonna do really dope things. And since then, I've seen your brand absolutely skyrocket organically, and you've carved out a niche for yourself. You're incredibly successful. So it's an honor for me to, for the second time, be able to interview you. Oh, by the way, also Tadi has spoken on one of my stages, which that was a dope 180 situation where, you know, the first time I saw her, she was at my event. The second time I see her in person, she's speaking on my stage, and probably one of the best speakers of that event. And that's because there were some killers at the event. So Tadi, I'm so honored to have you here. I know you're going to drop lots of gems, and I'm excited to get to it. But before we pass Tadi the mic, we're going to do a quick intro, guys. We're going to be talking about virtually wholesaling and how to make a success of it, and what little things and nuances Tadi is seeing in the market virtually wholesaling right now. And I'm excited to bring you guys lots of value right after this intro. Let's get it.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. I did. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. We did. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the school, baby, tell the facts. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Is that your song?
It is, yeah. It
Wow.
is.
So good.
You know we out here. So real quick before we get started, yeah, I gotta say this in front of everybody. By the way, we have 80 people live already. Barely
Let's
any
go.
promo. Like, that's super exciting. Shout out to everybody from Facebook to YouTube, Twitch, IG. We love you guys so much. Thank you for showing us love. Thank you for being here. Share this out with as many people as you think can benefit from talking and listening to 2 young people who are building businesses virtually. Share this out and tag your friends and family. With that said, I have to say this before we get into this, because I got to hold Tadi accountable to it. Tadi said that she's going to hop on a track with me, y'all. She said she's going to do some music with me. Tadi, is this true, or are you just playing?
It's
are you just
crazy
playing?
how you say hold me accountable. I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to do this. I've been blowing Aaron up. Like, put me on a track. Give me a feature.
All right, bet. We're going to make this happen, y'all. We're going to make this happen. We'll even record visuals, a whole music video with me and Tadi.
Eee.
All right, so I'm really excited about this. So Tadi, those that don't know you, those that are living under a rock, talk a little bit about what you do in the real estate and wholesaling space, and a little bit about your niche and how you carved it out.
Yeah, so I am most known for virtual wholesaling just because of how I got started. So my background was not in real estate. People always ask me, like, were you an agent or anything? So full transparency, when I was 19, I got my real estate license, but I totally failed. Like, I just got the license. I cold called a couple days and I was like, nah, this is hard. This doesn't work. I was driving like a beat up Camry. And I basically took that real estate license and started selling timeshares. So in Vegas, where I'm from, you have to have some type of timeshare license to sell timeshares. If you have a real estate license, you don't need to take that test. You just sell timeshares. So long story short, start selling timeshares. Really learn sales at that time, face to face too. So it's very difficult. Start making, the first real money I ever made. And then I just kind of got into the Vegas workforce. I started waitressing, which in Vegas, you make good money waitressing. I had my son, I got married, got divorced, and I'm a waitress, I'm a single mom, and then COVID happens. So during COVID, everything in Vegas shut down. They're like $300 a week unemployment. There you go. And I'm a very prideful person. So I was like, I'm not about to stop paying rent. I'm not about to stop paying my bills. Like, I'm going to figure it out and make it happen. Prior to that, I would save my tips and like try to start a business. So I try to start an Amazon FBA business. I try to start all these different businesses, eyelashes, selling weave, selling plates, cleaning business, all these different things. Nothing ever worked out for me. And at this time, I'm like, okay, COVID, I got to figure something out. So I'm on YouTube, selling real estate, wholesaling real estate, flipping houses, rental properties. I see all these different ways to make money. Wholesaling seemed to be the quickest. Got a script, got a list. I start calling Vegas. So 2 weeks go by, and I'm the type of person, like, when I start something, I really go crazy. So I was spending 8-10 hours a day cold calling, sitting on a single line dialer phone burner. And literally 2 weeks go by in Vegas, and I'm just getting cussed out. Nobody wants to sell. I had one real lead. I sent it to Ryan Pineda. He's like, it's too high. He was still answering messages back then. And it was just so funny. And I saw a video, Wholesale to Millions, Khan, saying he virtually wholesales in all these different places. So I'm like, what is that? I downloaded a list in Cleveland and I did 6 deals my first month. I made $38,000 like right out the gate. So that was crazy, right? Just crazy. Absolutely insane. I never made that much money. And I was talking to this guy, like when I started trying to wholesale, and he basically was like, that's fake. It sounds like a scam. So I stopped talking to him because he didn't believe in me. And then I posted a YouTube video. So this is how it all happened. I kind of posted this YouTube video low key, like, so he'd know I did it. So I posted like, I did my first deal, $15,000. That video ends up going viral. I had no intention of that happening. I end up getting like a lot of views, and people start following me on Instagram and asking me like, how are you doing this? And I did, 6 deals at this point. I'm not ready to teach anyone. I'm like, no, guys, I don't know, but I'm just going to keep posting, keep being accountable. So that's when I went to San Antonio. I met you guys. I changed my script up. Like, I got a lot from that event. I can't even tell you. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing for real. I was just calling people. And then I did 13 deals. By the time I got to San Antonio, I had done 13 deals. Your guys' event, that was in November. I had 13 deals in November. By the time my year rolled around in March, I had closed 37 deals.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know all of this. You're giving like details in the game that I didn't know. I knew that I seen your glow up. I saw how you really blew up, but I didn't know all of this. Okay.
One video was so weird. It was so weird.
Wow. So I didn't know that you really got popping on YouTube like that.
Yeah, so that one YouTube video got thousands and thousands of views, and everyone would just start following me on Instagram. I did this, I'm like, all right, I'll do this Zoom. I did like 20-something deals. I did a Zoom and like 50 people came. And then I sold that recording for $100.
I remember
crazy. But that recording, that crash course ended up doing 86K in like 10 months.
No, what?
That's when I was like, all right, I didn't try to do none of this. Like, I didn't ask for it. I didn't seek this. God put me in a position to educate people. And I was doing it I've always done it in such a genuine way. Like, this is the steps. This is what it is. Do it or not. If you don't do it, you're just going to fail. If you don't make the calls, you're just going to fail, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. People like that. Like, people like that I'm not trying to sell like a dream. Like, you can make $100,000 a month. Like, you got to spend a lot of money to do that. So I just been, keeping it real. I honestly have had a lot of hurdles over the time. But both businesses have done, well over 7 figures, like living good, living comfortable. Life is 360 different than the how am I going to pay this power bill days,
Yeah.
So, but still so much further to go, so much further to go.
Yeah. So I want to talk about both of these and I want to talk about some nuances that you've learned. I normally never address certain comments in the section. However, this is interesting. I have to address this. Love Live Nick on YouTube says, Tadi, I always liked you, but Aaron has screwed over a lot of newbies, faking it and making money off courses. Brother, you got me mixed up with somebody else, Papa. You got me mixed up with somebody else. I've been coaching since 2019. Name a person I have ever screwed over. You got me mixed up with someone else. Also, what do you mean faking it till you make it? Come see my business, bro. What are you saying? What are you saying right now? I think that you have me mixed up with somebody else, bro. But please provide names of people who I've screwed over. I'm just throwing this out there because you know, I'm not gonna sweep it under the rug because we're really out here. Here's the no-name haters that don't see our books or financials. Thank you, Dina. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But and normally I never address it, but like I don't know who this guy is. But yeah. So with that said,
shout out Steve, shout out Q, Jasmine, all the positivity.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. And by the way, those of you who have been a part of any of the courses that I've provided, who have actually benefited and made 7 figures, 6 figures, please show some love in here because y'all know what it really is. But Tadi, let's talk about this. So you have 2 businesses. You have the wholesaling and it's virtual, right? And then you have the education business. Or is okay, so
and then the real estate business, like buying.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's talk about so in the real estate business, are you just wholesaling or are you also you're building a portfolio or what do you have actually going on?
Yeah, so over the last 4 years I've done different things. I did build like a rental portfolio of 18 doors in Cleveland. And I realized like I hate like dealing with these tenants. So I sold all but 2. So I still have 2 properties in Cleveland that I'll sell because I don't love owning them. But I did buy a commercial building out here that's like was partially an emotional buy and is kind of like I'm spending a lot of money on, but it's been super exciting. It's a restaurant and a retail store. And I'm very much enjoying the commercial. It's like the same process as a house, but the profit is going to be so much more. And it's really allowing me to like go into these areas. My whole thing with virtual was finding places that need to be developed, that need room, that have room to grow, right? So I'm in Vegas, and to me, it just felt like this is a billionaire's playground. Like, how am I going to make headway here? But then there's all these markets like Cleveland, like Kansas City, like Nashville was years ago, like Denver was years ago, that are on the rise, you know? And my goal was to find one of these markets and make it my home and grow there. So I did. I moved to Kansas City, Missouri, made it my home. I bought a building. I'm buying other properties. I bought a big house in the suburbs that I'm doing some things with that I'll, talk about pretty soon here. But I'm loving investing the money I've made wholesaling into long-term things. And I've been wholesaling for 4 years. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot to people, but to stay in wholesaling for 4 years, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people enter and exit pretty quickly.
That's right.
I've built a business that I can kind of pass off, be more hands-off. I can do it with my community. I can do deals with my community, still make money doing deals. But I was so short-term thinking for such a long time. Now I'm like in a 10-year mind, and I am buying in Kansas City, ranch houses, 5 bedrooms and up. If you guys find deals, please send them my way. I would love to buy a deal from you.
So let's talk about this evolution. So how did you, I remember when you really started blowing up the virtual niche. At that time, I was not virtual yet. I was semi-virtual because I've always been the first few years of being in this business. I was the biggest advocate for, I love my backyard and I love the ability to say, I'm local to you. I live in the city that I'm calling you from. And if you want, me and or one of my team members can go meet with you in person. And for me, I felt like that was my biggest stronghold. And so I was borderline against virtual wholesaling. And I remember Tadi, I see Tadi online and you're like virtual wholesaling and I'm watching your numbers. I'm watching people blow up. I'm watching you post checks. And I'm like, yo, like she's really out here. Like she's really doing this. So How did you stumble across, or how did you enter into going virtual? Like, how did you make that your niche? Was that on purpose, or was it by necessity?
Yes. Well, so I think you are in a great market like San Antonio. I think you're in a place that has both, it has the growth, but it still has room to grow. And I think you probably are in a place where you have so many deals, you don't really need to go virtual, that you
Mm,
actually can get access to. I think it's two things. I think my mindset wasn't there to do deals in Vegas. It just, everything was so expensive. The sellers were so hard pressed. But one thing you really got to think about that really affects your market is, what is your average days on market? If you're in a market where a house can
mm,
sell in 2 weeks, are you really going to have that much play on wholesale deals? Everyone knows their property is highly desirable. Open Door and Zillow and OfferPad are making them an offer as soon as they type their address in. Those markets are just tough. They're just tough because the mindset and the psychology of the seller is, I've got this huge high value asset that's just growing in price every day, when you've got 50 states where people are really like, dude, this house has been sitting vacant for 3 years. Take it. So why would you compete where you can't even compare? You don't even have the money to compete with Open Door. You don't have the money to compete with Zillow. You're trying to spend
mm.
$500 a month and you're going to Miami. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense when you think about it. But we do it because it sounds so sexy to be like, I did a deal in Miami. But you're just like, I know people who marketed Miami for 2 years. They haven't done a deal. Why not go be a regular fish in a small pond, or even a small fish in a small pond, versus jumping in Vegas where there's sharks? Now, if you're experienced and you have capital and you know this business, go wherever you want. I can do a deal in any city now, but when I started, no, the hell I couldn't. I didn't know enough. Like, there's some parts of it that you just got to be real with yourself. Are you going to close $1 million wholesale deal in your first 3 months? Probably not. So, like, go to the path of least resistance. Go to Indianapolis where houses are 10K and practice, with cheap leads and a cheap system that doesn't cost you a lot to get good. Read the
Mm,
books and get good. Like, it's simple stuff. But if you really think about it, why would somebody in LA sell a $1.2 million house for 600,000? They don't
mm,
have to. But there's
mm,
markets where they do have to sell for less because that's just what the market is. So you pick the
mhm,
right market and you will have a way to do an unlimited amount of deals. But the cool thing about virtual wholesaling is it's not just one virtual market. Like, you can pick one,
mm,
learn it, start working it, add another. So I started in Cleveland and then I added St. Louis. In maybe my 10th or 11th month, I added St. Louis and immediately did 5 deals in St. Louis because I understood my process, and I was dialed in.
mhm. I love it. I love it. So let's talk. I already know right now we have 150 people live across all platforms, guys.
Oh,
Shout out to everybody. Please drop some fire emojis in here. Tag people who you think can benefit from this. We really, really love you guys for showing love. Tadi, let's talk about this because I think this is really exciting for a lot of people to hear. Like, okay, so she was struggling in the business just like me. She was banging her head against the phone call, against concrete walls while making phone calls. Then you go virtual. You do 5 deals in your first like month of going virtual. You make $38,000. Let's talk about some of the challenges. What were some of the unexpected challenges that you're like, oh, I wouldn't have known this about going virtual until I have done
God, so many challenges.
it?
So this is the funny one, and I'm gonna say this because it's funny, not really because I think anyone's gonna do it. But on my second deal, I assigned it to 2 people because I didn't know you could only assign it to 1 person. So I'm like, whoever gets the earnest money in first gets the deal. I literally told them that. I sent it to 2 people. Then the one guy, I remember his name was like something. He was an Indian guy, and he was like, I don't think you can do that. And I was like, I don't know. Let me check with the title company. And title company's like, you can't do that. So I had to go back and tell the other guy, like, sorry, I'm new and this is what I did. And he laughed about it because I was just upfront. Like, I didn't know I
Good
could do
job.
that. My next deal, I got you. Like, you'll be the first person I send it to. And he laughed and he's like, it's all good. Like, you're honest about it. So honesty is the best policy. Rule number 1.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That
Another
is so
thing,
funny.
I think another big challenge was so I cold called by myself, and I'm not joking when I say 8 to 10 hours a day. People are like, oh, that's cap, but like, my mom was literally telling me like, you didn't drink water today. So I'll say
Mm,
like, burnout is real.
yeah.
I encourage you not to think about it at first until you start to feel it. But when you do feel overwhelmed, like, take some of the money you made and hire VAs, because a lot of this heavy lifting you're doing in the beginning, it's good because you need the experience. You need to get good at talking to sellers. But after a few deals, your time is not valuable cold calling anymore. You got to just be closing deals. And then you got to focus on hiring someone because I took on everything for like 2 years. My son was really small at that time. Like he still will complain, like all you ever do is work. It got in his mind at that time that all I ever do is work because that what is all I was doing. After I made enough money, I was able to step back and be like, wow, all I do is work. But in that time, I was so desperate to get away from poverty. I just blocked everything out, right? Your family is the most important thing, you know, $0, $1 million. That kid's still your kid. He's still looking to you as, you know, his moon and his stars. So I do feel a little like hurt from that, but I overcompensate now with like quality time, making sure I have enough people in my team to help. I don't take everything on myself anymore. And you shouldn't, dude. If you made $40,000, like be real, like that's enough money to start delegating. I was so scared to spend money on help, and that was the silliest thing, and it slowed me down when I could have got so much further faster.
So let's talk about this really quick because there's so many things that you mentioned that I want to unpack, and our time is so limited. But 6 to 8 hours a day, people who I have coached before, sometimes I find myself having to push somebody uphill to get them to cold call in the beginning, especially if they're limited on resources, right? And let's say we do determine, okay, cold calling is the best place where you can start right now. You don't have a whole lot of money. You don't have a team. You don't have, you know, and so just to get them 2 or 3 hours a day, it's like pulling teeth. How were you able to do? Are you just an obsessive person in general? Or what advice do you have for somebody that's like, Tadi, I get it. I'm so inspired by you. Aaron, I used to do the same thing too, 6 to 8 hours a day. You know, that's why this resonates with me so heavy. And so it's like, oh, we're kindred spirits because I love that. I love that so much. But what advice do you have for somebody who they're in a similar situation? They have the motivation to do it, but it's so difficult for them to get started because they're like, I literally hate doing it, even though I know that I want to do that right now. Like, what advice do you have for them?
So, gosh, first of all, big shout out to Joey Camargo right there. We just closed 30K yesterday. He closed the deal. He's on my acquisitions team. And Joey probably, you know, could drop a comment about this too, because to do what he does, to close deals like he does as an acquisitions person on someone's team. Now think about it, right? To close a 30K deal or a 10K deal or 8K deal, there's a word I want to teach you guys today. And I didn't make this up. I learned this from my friend Rich, who runs a solar company that does 33 million a year. So this is a big, big boss, right? There's a word that he says, it's called assiduity. And assiduity is the ability to sit your ass in a seat and do the same thing all day long, okay? It sucks. But it doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter if you're the cold caller or you're the CEO like me. Where am I at? I'm sitting in a desk. This is not fun. This is boring, you guys. Like, people always say, like, do a day in the life. A day in the life is this. This is me sitting here. Like, that's it. And actually, I bought a desk that does this. I can stand up. I got a treadmill.
Same. I got it right now.
You have a treadmill?
I don't have a treadmill, but I got a desk that I could.
I literally like I have a treadmill because literally like I'm here. Like, this is it, you guys. Like,
did I lose you?
Sorry. You let me first. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hold on.
Okay, you're back. You're back. You're back. But
I'm
you're
back.
saying
Okay.
you're
So,
literally here. You're doing the work.
It's because yeah, that's it, you guys. And it doesn't change. So sorry. It's like, I know it's like everybody wants to hear this glamorous thing. Like, I'm out here at the spa all the time. Like, look at my nails. Like, this is real life. I need to get my nails done, my toes done. I need to go do stuff. But guess what? My business comes first. My family comes first. And honestly, Aaron, people who say that, I just don't think they want it enough. And I know that might sound bad, but I'm the person that says stuff you don't want to hear, or maybe you need to hear. But are you even hungry? Like, do you
I think we're losing you again, Tadi. I love
I'm
what
here,
Tadi.
but my camera keeps messing.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We'll let you lock back in. Tayani says assiduity. She
My
put it right in there. I love it. I love it. Tayani says her socks. Tadi pulled out the professional on top, comfy on bottom. Yeah.
all day. Sorry, you guys had to see that, but literally, that's
No.
this is real life. You know, it's not we post the checks, but this is the crappy stuff that gets the checks. And I'm honestly willing to cold call right now today. If if something happened and it was like, hey Tadi, your bank account's at a couple $1,000s, and I know what to do. I know I'm gonna have a deal in a week or so. It's okay.
Yep.
Like, and all of you can. It's just, do you believe it? First, you got to believe it.
Yeah, 100%. Ray Delgado asks you, can you explain that again? What's the definition for assiduity? Because I think I think they need to hear it again. That's so powerful, Tadi.
Yeah, assiduity is the ability to sit your ass in a seat and do the same thing all day long. Result or not, you do the same thing. Obviously, there's so many things you can do, right? You can hire VAs, you can buy leads, you can do this, you can do that. But stop getting wrapped up in that. Like, can you even close a deal before you start wasting money on stuff? Can you even close a deal that comes to you? If not, just cold call and get your reps in. Call for sale by owners. Who cares? Have conversations so you could speak with authority, confidence, and then you can do whatever you want. Now, if you're a trust fund baby, you got $1 million and you're like, I just want to do a wholesale business, then just spend the money. But most of you on here are not, and that's not why you're trying to do this.
Yeah. Talk to me about how long you recommend for newbies to stick to something once they've committed to it. Because what I'm finding amongst individuals that I work with and around and coach in the community is we've helped 7-figure earners, multiple of them. But I'm not going to hold you like every single person that we've grown the group to what, 20,000 active members now.
Wow,
Tadi.
that's crazy.
But here's the thing: it's since 2019, 20,000 members organically. Okay, only 15 of them that I can vet out myself have generated 7 figures in 1 year. So while 20,000 15 7-figure earners might seem like a lot, but divide that by 20,000. That's a 0.0005%, less than 1% of people that I have ever worked with and around have made 7 figures. But a lot of us are on here on social media talking about the 7-figure game and multi-6-figure game. And what I find is that the ones that are the 7-figure earners, the multi-6-figure earners, they talk like you. They have the energy like you, even if they have different personalities. So how long does a person have to stick with something until they give up? Like, what are your thoughts on that? So we know that they have to do the work consistently, but okay, I've been doing this for 3 months. You said that you did it for less than that, and when you started closing deals, I'm 3 months in, I'm 4 months in, and I haven't made any money. Like, what's your advice as far as that goes?
So number one, are they actually doing the hours? Because if you pause your dialer and you get up and you do stuff and you come back, like, your 6 hours can become 3 really quickly. So I would definitely say, like, watch your time and make sure you're being accountable to what you say you're doing. But number two, what are you doing on the phone? I'm not gonna lie. A lot of younger people, and I'm, considerably young. I'm 30 now, but there's a lot of people, like, I don't know what it is, but like, I feel like 22, 20, like, they're so dry. Like, when they get on the phone, it's just like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if you've been calling for 3 months and you've been dry, like, who would want to talk to you? Like, enthusiasm is what sells.
Oh my God, she's speaking right now, y'all. She's speaking.
So don't come and say, I've been trying to do a deal for the last 3 months and I just, just hasn't worked out. It's just like how everybody sounds. And it's like, why? I wouldn't buy anything from you. You don't even sound like you care, bro. Like, my voice goes like this when I talk because that's how you sell. Like, it's not, I don't know. Like, I feel like the young, like, people have this like nonchalant attitude, which is fine for like a cold caller maybe, but like, an older person has to believe. You're on the phone. Your voice carries everything. Your tonation. You got to learn the principles of sales. Are you mirroring and matching? Are you figuring out what their need is, what their desire is? Are you helping them? Are you painting a picture in their mind of increase in their life? Or are you just asking them, hey, yeah, I could do 120. Oh, okay, no, that doesn't work. Okay, bye. And calling the next person. That's not a deal. It will never be a deal. You're going to come across a seller who needs to sell, and they're not going to sell to you every time because you're not the right person.
Wow.
Do you even care about their situation? I try not to even talk about the house. My favorite part of wholesaling is when at the end of the deal, someone calls me and says, you don't even know how much you changed my life. I have somebody texting me right now. Call me, Tadi. This is a deal that closed yesterday. I know she's about to be happy when we talk. People call me 6 months later, ask me to help them figure out taxes and random stuff because they felt like I was their friend. They felt like I was someone who cared about their life. Are you doing all that, or are you just calling people and throwing out numbers? If you are, then the only thing that's going to matter is price. You're not going to get the deal because you need it at too low price. And that's a principle people forget. We're not talking about properties. We're talking about problems. And if you're calling people who don't have problems and you're not actually trying to help them solve their problem, you're just wasting your time. Uber would make way more money than wasting all your time trying to wholesale. You're not even doing it right. And then you're messing up the market for people who are actually doing it right.
That's right. I'm so glad to hear you say, I'm going to share this episode with so many people so people can hear somebody else say this. But I always tell people this, Tadi, that two people can be doing the exact same work, putting in the same exact metrics. Person A is very monotone. They have a negative mental attitude. And then you have person B who's enthusiastic, excited. They have a great personality, or at least they're putting their best foot forward. Person B is going to run circles around person A, and they're doing the same amount of work. They're doing the same tactics.
You're working harder. You're not working smart.
Come on, man.
Read any sales book, you guys. Do you even want to make money if you're not reading books about what you're trying to do? You're not getting training. You're not getting help. That's the most frustrating thing. People be like, I spent thousands on leads. I spent thousands on a dialer. Well, did you spend any money on a book to learn what to actually do the right way? The book on negotiating real estate, $11, $12. Read it. Do what it says. Done. Deals. Done. So simple. So easy, guys. Dummy proof. But people just don't want to turn pages. It's just so weird to me. It's like everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to go on vacation. Everybody wants the beautiful girl on their arm, the Ferrari, the whatever life you put in your head. Everybody wants it, guys. What are you willing to do to overcome the desire of comfort and ease? What are you willing to do to overcome your laziness? That's it.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay. So,
and that's me too, guys. I'm not exempt from that. Let me just add that in because I'm preaching to the choir because I have to sit here and say, overcome your lazy ass right now and do it. I tell myself that. I'm my own coach. When you're an entrepreneur, you're your own coach. So, and then I pay coaches too. I'm in masterminds. I pay a lot of money because I need other people saying, Tadi, you're better than that, girl. What are you doing? Get organized. Get on that. We all need that, So it's me too. I'm not better than anybody.
Yeah, I love that. You always keep it 100%. I love that. So at what point do I start delegating? So I've followed your advice. I've gotten over myself. I've started to make a little bit of money, and I've put in the sacrifice, the effort. I've made 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, plus $100, $1,000, $100,000. And I'm afraid to invest, or I have that scarcity. I don't want to lose this money that I've worked so hard to get. How do I know when it's time to delegate?
I feel like, dude, if you have more than $30,000 in your bank account, you gotta start spending that. And this is I'm the worst. I was the worst. I'm 4 years into entrepreneurship where I've been making serious money. Last year, I was scared to spend $20,000 on a marketing so it's so funny. You could say whatever you want, but when it's your money, you're there ready to spend it. It's very hard to, I'm not going to lie, but that is if you want to say a generational curse that you have to break or whatever, you got to think about the fears that you have on spending, why you got them. A lot of people, they'd rather have 20K in the bank and just have it there than spend any of it with the potential to make more. But why? Because your brain is saying, I need this to survive. Get out of survive, right? I think as soon as you have enough money to pay a cold caller for at least 3 months, hire them. And that's only $3-4 an hour. and that could be less than $3,500. But if you have that in your bank account set aside, hire them, because they're going to relieve you of so much time. That 8 hours you were spending, now you can spend 8 hours closing deals. And that's exactly what I did. I got one cold caller. I would close the leads he brought, and then I would cold call alongside him. And then eventually I got 2 callers, and then I would just close. And then I brought on a closer. And, just slowly over time, you start to grow. Now I have a partner. We've got like 6 cold callers. We're consistently having like 4 acquisitions people, a couple dispo people. And it still doesn't mean you're going to be making millions of dollars, but now you're not the person that has to do everything. It takes time, though. Don't expect it to happen overnight. I really believe, though, if you have enough money to pay for someone for 3 months, you should just do it, because you already proved that your process works. Now you just need to speed it up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I love that so much. And even me, even where I am in business right now, our overhead is like $15,000-$20,000 a month. I have a whole army of cold callers that are bringing in leads, hundreds of leads for our team every couple of weeks. And even me, like sometimes I'll see the money leave, and I have that feeling of like, but that feeling in the pit of your stomach. But I understand the game after going through the ebb and flow for so many years. Like I understand it. So those feelings don't go away, y'all. It's just a matter. I love what Kobe Bryant said. He said, what did Kobe said? He said, my entire career, I had butterflies before every single game. He said, wow. I just learned how to make them fly in formation.
Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah. And so it's true, right? Like we're always, don't you still feel a way if you have to invest into a mentorship, or if you have to invest into, and you know that, okay, between me and where I want to be is this investment, you still get that feeling in your stomach. You just know how to control it and use it as fuel, as opposed to allow it to stop you, right?
Yeah. And honestly, you're the one who told me about the book, Eat the Frog, back then in 2020. And that concept has helped me in those times. I know now when I get that feeling that it is a positive feeling, actually, because if you don't have that feeling, you're not growing. You just got to be smart. And if there's someone who's already done it telling you what to do, to follow their advice, it works. I was so scared to spend $20K. That $20K turned into $250. And it's like, you can't be like that. You can't be like that. You got to spend money to make money.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, Tadi, I've invested in this marketing campaign, but I feel like all the sellers only want retail. How do you handle your student or a community member who says this? I feel like everybody I talk to, they all want retail. I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah. So one of my rules is you bring the data and not the drama. So I wouldn't accept that statement.
Yes.
I need to know how many calls did you make? You know what I mean? We only talk
bring
numbers.
the data, not the drama. I'm writing that down, bro.
Yeah. And I got that from someone else as well. I didn't make that up, but like, it was because when I heard it, I'm like, wait, that is so true. Oh my gosh. I just feel like, don't tell me what you feel like. Show me what you did so we can figure it out. Because feelings, I don't feel like working today. You know what I mean? Like anyone could feel I don't feel like working out today. We could all feel, but what actually occurred? Okay. What list did you pull? Where did you get it skip traced? How many calls did you actually make? When we start digging, they'll have said they made 35 calls. You know what I mean? Like something. But let's say you really genuinely did. You can show, sorry, I'm like weird noise on my, let's say you really did, and you can show me your dialer. You can show me you made 20,000 calls, you had 300 connections, and you actually spoke with 50 something people. You know what I mean? We need to listen to the calls. You're doing something wrong on these calls. And usually they're just going through the script, not building a connection, and not finding the true motivation. Because in the beginning, everyone's just going to say, I just want to see how much I can get, or, I want 150 because, Zillow said. But when you get down, and guess what? Deals don't even happen on the first call, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you follow up 6, 7, 8 times? Did you wait till did you keep calling when they actually did need to sell? I can't tell you guys the number of deals. And Joey, if you're still here, you can even testify to this. My team will call somebody who's been being talked to by another team, and they didn't follow up at the right time, and we did. And we get a deal that somebody else worked for 2 years. It happens all the time because y'all aren't following up. We do something called lead dumps. So like on social media, I'll be like, who's got leads they're not using, right? And people will email me like 10,000 leads or 50 leads or 100 leads that they've got over time because they couldn't close them. These were bad leads. They weren't working these leads, right? We put them in our system and we're just getting deals. But that's because my people are trained. Our team is trained to get to the root of the motivation, stay there, focus on that, figure out if there's some way you can help them, because if you really spoke to and had conversations with 50 people who said, yes, I want to sell, and none of them signed a contract, there's something wrong with your sales process. Seriously wrong. It should only take you maybe 30, even if you're not really that good.
Yeah, I love this so much. And I've seen this through the years. And sometimes, look, I own a virtual staffing agency. Okay. We have over 125 people on staff. Okay. And we're growing. And I love it. I love what look at what Joey said. It's not the leads. It's not the leads. It's you. Here's why I love this so much, Tadi. Here's why I love this so much, Joey, because I've been doing this since 2017. And I've worked with multiple teams. I've worked with multiple business owners, Tadi. And this is always the first thing. Everybody wants retail. Yes, of course. Everybody wants. It's part of the game, right? Then I'll go in and I'll call the database. And I lock a deal up. First day, second day. You know, sometimes first couple hours. And they're like, nah. They didn't sound like that whenever I was calling them. And it's like, there's so many little variables that you've already extrapolated, you know, like, you know, your tonality, your enthusiasm, you're following the process, you're matching and marrying, you're being able to like extract the motivation out of people. You know what I mean? And then you go back and listen to their calls, and they were doing the Gen Z thing. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
dry guy
reaching out. Yeah. The dry eyes guy. You know what I mean? You know, just wanted to, you know, see if you were interested in stuff. No, you know, give me $1 million. Okay, all right. So you're probably not interested. You have a good day. And it's like, well, no wonder you're not getting any deals. It's not the leads. It's you. I love that so much, Tadi. I love that so much.
Have fun with it, guys. Like, the problem is, like, people are so focused on like, I need to close the deal. You're not even like caring about like, if I'm talking to Aaron right now and I know this guy's got a few properties, I'm not even trying to talk about the properties. Like, what's up with you? Like, tell me what's got you wanting to sell. Oh, shoot, for real? Like, dang, that happened. Well, what else happened? You know, and yeah, don't waste an hour. You know, if we come to a good agreement, you know, is this something that you're trying to do today? Okay, not today. Okay, well, you know, let's just keep talking and get away from the people who aren't willing to sell right now. Like, first, because if you're wasting too much time on them, you're not going to help the person that needs the help. But then when someone it aligns, yeah, I want to sell today. If they're ready to go, stop worrying about the house and stuff like that. And I'm not even the best closer. I'm just like more of an emotional closer. I'm just trying to figure out if I can help you. And I'm trying to advocate for you. I'm trying to give you advice. And once they feel that you're that kind of person, you're knowledgeable, you're trying to help them and give them advice more so than take their house, which is what everyone's scared of. They're trying to take my house. Once they say, oh, she's not one of them, she's one of the good guys. You have to get past that. Like, you have to get past, are they one of them? And the only way to do that, and it's over, like, I feel like the word rapport has a bad connotation at this point because we've heard it so much. Yeah, that's what it is, you know? And it's not a fake rapport. It's a genuine rapport. Be genuine.
That was such a good, simple way to put it. You got to get past, guys, did y'all hear what she said? You have to get past being one of them. It's so simple, but that's so profound. Because isn't it true that these people are getting hit up by robocalls, they're getting hit up by all of our competitors, but
people
they're
from the Philippines, from India.
That's right. That's right.
Everywhere.
100%. 100%. I love that. Okay, so talk to me about, we only have a few minutes left. I always have so much fun whenever
I feel like we could just talk forever. It's like there's so much to talk about, but yes, this is really good. Facts.
So talk to me about your vision. Where you, so you talked about you're moving at this point, you're moving at you know, you got a 10-year vision now. That makes me so proud. Like, that's how I know you're really maturing and growing. I just said that and it gave me like warmth in my stomach. Like, that's so beautiful that you just said you're moving with a 10-year vision in mind. That makes me so happy. So what does that look like? What does it look like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? What's your vision?
Yeah. So my favorite part about wholesaling that I always say is the ability to help somebody, right? I've always loved that feeling. Even with coaching, that's what I love when people are like, oh my God, Tadi, you just helped me so much because I was here and now I'm here. Like, to me, it's not about a dollar in my bank account. It's about the emotions that I have in my day that just make me feel like I'm glowing, I'm vibrating high, right? So I had to really think, like, nothing comes easy. Everything takes time. I made my actual like vision board, and I'll even show it to you guys. Like,
Hey, let's
I made this years
go.
ago, right? So I made this years ago. It has stuff like, I want to be an author and I want to speak on these big stages and own these luxury homes and have all these apartment buildings and have these big bank account balances. And, it's so good to really have something you can physically look at and say, I have
Yes.
my relationship that I want, everything. You got to think about your life and you got to say, like, well, who am I to have that? Am I the woman that can keep all that when I get it? Or am I going to fumble the bag because I didn't prepare myself? So when we talk about a 10-year vision, a lot of times, and all the way up until like this year, it was always about money. Like 50K a month, 100K a month, 80K a month. Like, I need to make this K a month. And it was just about that K a month that I was trying to make. And it's so silly. Like, I look back and I'm like, bro, you were so silly because it had nothing to do with that. Never.
Wow.
It's the purpose that you feel that I feel God, or you could say the universe or whatever, but I feel God, Jesus in my heart, put me on this planet to serve a purpose. So have I been, So my 10-year vision encompasses real estate, of course. I know how to get great discounted deals. That's my thing. So I'm getting these great discounted deals. And instead of doing traditional rentals, I have found my little niche where I can serve my purpose and my passion to help people. And I'm growing that. And I will announce it soon because I'm pretty excited. But it's literally wholesale and put my money into my future. And it's going to be a 10-year thing. Virtual wholesaling education has been super fun. And I love doing social media. I love doing content. And I plan to still continue to do that. But in this 10-year vision, it's a vision that I will be able to help hundreds of thousands of people and make millions of dollars, feeling great about what I do, building teams like I like to do in the way that feeds my soul, not just my bank account. And I think at first, when you just need money, it's okay. You just hustle, you just need money, it's okay. At some point, you have to take a step back and say, when things get hard, do I have a true purpose to continue doing it? And if you don't, you may not be in the right exact niche. But the cool thing about real estate is there's so many verticals. There's so many things you guys can do. Get the money first so you can decide. You can look at the world and say, well, what do I want to do now? And then it's the same journey again, taking my first step into this, dark, unknown water. I'm scared. I've got butterflies. My time, my money, my kid's life is all invested in this now. And it's scary, but I'm here at the beginning of another entrepreneurship journey. It's like, yeah, it's go time, round 2. We conquered wholesaling. We're in the social media thing, and now it's time to build.
Yeah. I see you doing absolutely insane things, Tadi. You're going to do some really, really dope things. I already know. I'm excited to, who knows where our brands are going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But I know that you're going to keep growing. I know I'm going to keep growing. And hopefully this is one of those things where 5 years from now, we're on a podcast and, we have, a few 100,000 people live. And we're talking about what you're doing, and you're talking about all these amazing things that you got going on. And I feel it. I know that you're one of those ones. You're one of those ones. And the reason why I say that,
live from the yacht.
That's right. But you know why I know that you're one of those ones is because this is not to be overlooked, and that is longevity. You were here 4 years ago. And I saw you, and now you're 4 years and you're bigger and badder than ever.
So
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And you know this. How many people, in let's say in 90-day runs, how many people have come and gone within the amount of 90-day runs we've seen over the last four years?
Yeah, wholesaling is an enter and exit sport for sure.
Yep. and you're still here. So that it just speaks to your character and what you got going on. So with that said, this has been super, super dope. I think you've dropped so much value for people. Before we get, how people can link with you and things like that, I want to do a speed round with you. I always do this with our favorite guests. And our speed round is where they say, out of the heart's abundance, the mouth speaks, right? This is what Jesus said. And so we want to know what's going on in the mind and heart of Tadi. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out a word, and you have to respond with the first word and or phrase that comes to your mind when you hear the word. Okay? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The first word, without thinking, you just got to say first word or phrase. Okay? First word is entrepreneurship.
Challenge.
Okay. The second word is virtual.
Wholesaling.
All right. The third word is wealth.
Building.
Ooh, okay. I like it. All right. The next one, community.
Growing.
All right. The last one is family.
Everything.
Hey! I love it.
That was good. Oh, that warmed my heart. What? That was good. I like that.
I love it. Tadi, we got to link some more. I think, we're getting so much feedback, not just from Facebook, on my YouTube, IG, Twitch, the Facebook group, the Facebook profile and page. So many people, I can't even keep up with some of these comments that are coming in through all my different platforms. But it's always a pleasure to link with you. Where can people connect with you if they want to follow your content or know about what you have going on?
Yeah, so just Tadi Virtual, just like at Tadi Virtual, all platforms, same name, super easy.
All right, at Tadi Virtual on all platforms, y'all. Go follow Tadi. I promise you, she drops a lot of dope content, funny content, informative content. She's really outside, and she really does this business. She's somebody who she'll, not only people who she's helped in her community I've spoken to, but other big players in the game vouch for her. And she's just somebody who's real and really out here. How do you want to close out? What advice would you have for individuals who are watching, knowing that, my audience primarily is people between the age of like 18 and 35. They are newer and intermediate entrepreneurs, and they're probably listening to this super fired up and energized, being a fly on the wall, listening to us talk. What advice would you have for them before we wrap up?
Yeah, guys, guess what? You don't need any skills. You don't need to be a natural talent. You need zero. There's people that are absolute idiots that are making tons of money. You don't need anything. It's like church. Come as you are, okay? You can develop and become that person. I did. Aaron did. So many others have. We are still evolving. Evolution never stops. So one book, one thing you can do to change everything forever. Play it on repeat. Don't stop playing it until you get it. The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Wattles. Understand, guys, you don't need to come to the table with anything. You get that book on Audible, get it on physical, listen to it, read it, whatever you need to do. That is the only thing you need. You don't need any skills, nothing. Just get that book, start listening to it. Believe it. Have certainty that this life is for you. That's it. You don't need anything. Stop feeling like you're not good enough. You're more than enough. You just haven't got the right information yet.
Come on. I feel so fired up after this podcast. I'm ready to go conquer the day. How do y'all feel? Put it in the comment section. Give us some fire emoji, show us some love. And can somebody please type in The Science of Getting Rich? Put it in the comment section so everybody else on replay land can get it too. Tadi, we really appreciate you. Thank you for coming and blessing the audience. Until next time, guys, it's your boy Aaron Bevins with the one and only Tadi, the virtual wholesaler. We will see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. I did. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the scoop, baby, tell the facts. Don't be shy.